Hello, everybody. This is Gary. Today is Friday, May 29th, 2020. It is 4:54 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the United States in Rochester, New York. And this is just a quick update on how I'm dealing with my mental health and also to talk about George Floyd and how he was murdered by the police in Minneapolis and the rioting and the looting. As far as my own personal mental health is going, I had an on-phone conversation with my psychiatrist yesterday. My next appointment with him will be in person because he's leaving as my doctor, and I wanted to see him one last time before we stop working together. I have an in-person appointment with him on June 11th, 2020, and I will be seeing him in person. One of the things we talked about yesterday was Klonopin. Klonopin, I want to point out, can be a very dangerous drug. It's physically addictive and mentally addictive. And if you take it every single day for at least 4 weeks and you suddenly try to withdraw from it, you could get up into seizures and you could die. So it can be a dangerous drug. Having said that, my doctor put me back on Klonopin, but he's only allowing me um, 3 pills a week, half a milligram each. So it would be hard for me to get addicted to it when they're carefully controlling how much I get for each prescription. I'm only supposed to use it for the most dire of circumstances when my anxiety and my paranoia and my hallucinations are so out of control that I might end up in the emergency room. The Klonopin is there to help calm me down and prevent a psychiatric emergency room visit. So I feel good about the decision. Everybody involved in me, my doctors, the nurses, my care manager, we're all going to be very cautious as we move forward. I don't see myself getting addicted to Klonopin or abusing it, with everybody watching me so closely and it being a substance that my doctor is only releasing a little bit at a time. Um, and I'm not going to sell it illegally because I need it for myself. Um, okay, enough of that. George Floyd was definitely murdered by a policeman in Minneapolis earlier this week. It was murder, it was torture, it was disgusting. The police officer has been arrested, the one who had his knee into George Floyd's neck, and 3 other officers, as I understand it, were fired from the Minneapolis Police Department. The rioting and the looting, however, are not justified. It helps no one to burn down Target, AutoZone, and a police station. It doesn't bring George Floyd back. It doesn't cause justice. It doesn't do anything to justify looting and stealing and assault. Black Lives Matter terrorists from Antifa are out there stoking violence and assault and attempted murder in the name of George Floyd and his memory. George Floyd, as he was being choked to death, begged for his life. He did not beg for you to steal a widescreen television during looting, and that's not what his memory is supposed to be about. Um, Someone's on the chat. Hello, brother. How art thou? You are watching the co-opting of anger from the ignorant masses. It is psyop, a one, a operation, a hoax. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. That makes no sense to me. But anyways, um, the rioting, the stealing is being egged on by people from Antifa, from Black Lives Matter. Um, Violence against police officers doesn't bring George Floyd back. It doesn't cause a trial to convict the police officer that was guilty of the murder. It is false. What the hell does that mean? Anyways, I apologize for the noise in the background. My neighbors are young. They're playing loud music. If you can hear that, I apologize. Um, but anyways, George Floyd was murdered by a police officer. He The cop who did it was arrested, I believe, today and is in custody. And so there's going to be a trial and the evidence will come out. But rioting and looting and burning shit down to the ground only invites more violence because the police are going to start to defend themselves with riot gear and tear gas and rubber bullets. And then they bring in the National Guard, which they did bring in the National Guard. So George Floyd's death was escalated into a civil war when it shouldn't have been. Peaceful protests are okay, but there are thugs out there who are enticing violence on purpose and making it worse than it should be. America is already divided racially, and it does not need to be even more racially divided. Um, I don't even know if the murder of George Floyd was based on racism. It was a white cop and a black victim, but that doesn't mean the cop was racist. It means he's a murderer, but it doesn't necessarily make him a racist. Um, and there are a lot of race baiters out there who try to stoke violence and rioting just because they want to change the face of America to some sort of communist utopia. A lot of the people on the far left, like Antifa, Black Lives Matter, they're communists, they're Marxists, they're cultural Marxists. They want to overthrow the present system in America by blaming systemic racism and that all white people are evil or whatever, some bullshit like that. And so this has turned into a political civil war, which is completely unjustified. Um, Agent provocateurs, you are correct. This is the plan. It was to grab a hold of the lesser desires of the ignorant to use their negative energy in order to move the agenda forward. Okay, whatever. But I don't know. America just lost over 100,000 people to the COVID-19 coronavirus, and this rioting in some cities across America is only going to make that situation even worse. I mean, there are 41 million unemployed people in the United States, the highest ever since the Great Depression. And the last thing this country needs is riots, looting, and stealing, and violence, and fires, and arson. Um, if I owned a business that was being burned down to the ground, I would have the legal right to pull out a gun and defend my property and my business. It's too bad that more people aren't doing that. This is why we need Second Amendment rights. Um, Store owners who are armed could have fought back against the looters and the thieves and the rioters if they were properly and legally armed and ready to defend their property. During the LA riots in 1993, there were Korean store owners who stood on the top of the roof of their businesses and defended their businesses with both handguns and rifles. And they have a right to do that. If people are going to try to burn down your business and steal your livelihood, you have a right to use violence to defend yourself and your business. Um, so this rioting, this looting, none of this is okay. None of this is justified. America's already in a bad situation. There's over 1 million cases of coronavirus, and this all mixed together just makes like a really shitty situation even worse, and it's not justified. We should be focusing on fighting the common enemy, which is the coronavirus, the spread of a disease, and people need to stay calm because justice will prevail. And I don't know what this guy in my chat is even talking about. Boy, I don't know what he's saying. But like, comment, share, subscribe. Press the notification bell so you always get a notification when I put out a new video. If you have any video ideas you want me to do, leave them in the comment section and share my videos on different social media sites if you want to help out my channel. I don't ask for money, but you can help my channel by doing the sharing of my videos like on social media like Facebook.